Let's see. Okay, it says we are live. What's going on?
We're live. I'm
Welcome.
good.
Let me do a little intro real quick.
Right.
Welcome to the Street Shaman Podcast, episode 11. I am your host, Potent the Rock Star, aka Shamanic Poe. I'm here today with the lovely guest UG Rose, and we're gonna talk about finding inspiration in 2020. Okay.
All right. All right.
All
What's
right.
going on?
I mean,
The sigh.
you know the state of things. You know what's going on right now with everything in 2020, man. It's like if it ain't one thing, it's another. Some days it's three things at once and shit. What's been
Right.
affecting you the most though, UG?
Um, I have to say, like, it has to be like the change with like how I feel about like my current line of work, like what I'm doing professionally, and um realizing that I need to kind of like maybe like get more interactive with like my family, like because I have the tendency to like isolate because I don't know how to feel about what's going on. Like it's trying to find like your legs again after you've been just like out and like in space or in the middle of the ocean, like just trying to get your bearings. Yeah, so like everything right now seems like to be draw me back to what am I doing this for?
Gotcha. So what were you doing before? Or did it change, or are you working at the same place but now because of the way the tides have turned, you feel some type of way about what you're doing? Because I have
Um,
no clue what you do, UG. You know what I mean? You're a ninja out here.
Yeah. Nah, I work in like trade administration. So all the documents that are required between one country to the next to have things shipped from one place to another that my company manufactures, I deal with the companies, guide them through who they got to talk to at an embassy or a consulate so they can get the paperwork to ship their stuff overseas. And that was one of the first things that was affected by the whole shut down. Like mad government agencies just went offline, and so people are like, well, we can't get your documents and we don't know what's going to happen with the supply chain because we're trying to conserve our product for local markets. And it was wild. Like everything just started changing. I just started getting frustrated, and I'm like, okay, now what am I even doing this for? Because you can deal with the frustration of a profession, but if you feel like you're not doing it for a reason, if you don't have a why that's strong enough, the how doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely get that. Like that's what you went to school for, or did you just fall into that like just
Uh
by
kind of
chance?
just yeah, kind of just fell into it. Was trained on it, and then before that it was like just account management. So you can get like a feel for like how the market is going when you talk to people that own stores, own branches. Um, especially it's food, and that's one thing that's starting to worry about now because they got to worry about how to pay bills and how they're going to manage rent and and how they're going to buy groceries. So customers are already like yeah, we're not getting a whole lot of people buying. We're not sure how the buying season is going to go. Yeah, it's just like you can feel that things are off kilter, bad.
Right. And I think it's just like there's not enough money circulating right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, with all the transitional wealth that went up when this shit went down, you know, richer people got even richer,
Sure.
right? So
Yep. Exactly.
people don't have the money to really do the things they would do. And even if they do have the money, it's
Things ain't
not it's
open.
not it ain't even enjoyable.
Right. Right. Like now, like once you get to a certain point, like you feel like you grind for so long, especially like I could say for musical artists, I can see how this like would definitely affect them because like if you really push to get on, and for now for concerts to not be happening, no music halls to be open, like everything has to be like a private session where like maybe you could have like a pre-recorded or a live stream concert or something. The whole experience of being someone who's pushed and pushed and pushed and grinded and grinded and grinded for so long, once you get to the point where like, yeah, now I should be able to see the payoff, the rat race don't even make sense no more because like I can't even do shit.
Right. Right. It's what I've been struggling with because it's like to make music, especially like in my status, you have
Yeah.
to have some type of a little glimpse of hope, a little optimism. That's oh yeah, maybe next year I could fall into something because
Right.
life does work that way. You end up getting into situations, mistakes happen. You know what I mean? Like you go through some bullshit, and then when you come out the other side, you go, oh shit, I just got this opportunity. If I never went through that bullshit, I would have
It's
never
gonna
got this
happen.
opportunity at all.
Right, right, yeah. So it's like I said, like you feel like all right, like I done been through all the knocks, I done been through all the hustling, all the pushing. By next year, next fall, next summer, next spring, I'm gonna be on. And then it's like, what the hell? What is the scene even gonna be anymore? Post COVID, we ain't even post yet. We still going through the shit. So there's like no end in sight right now.
And right now, even if there was touring, for
Mm-hmm.
me, like touring, making music, uh, it's tough because what are you gonna say? Like right now, what can you say? How can like yeah, WAP maybe distracted some people for a little bit. You get
Right,
a little goof
right,
off of the WAP. But like,
right,
what are you gonna say that's gonna distract people from what's going on? And who like my audience, they vary. They vary because I do all types of shit. So
right.
excuse me,
It's all right.
excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So I do all types of shit. So because I do all types of shit and I get different type of followings from different people and different
Right.
fans from different walks of life, those motherfuckers are like at odds with each other.
Right.
I'm
Right.
tired of seeing I'm tired of seeing the memes. Like I understand, like, yeah, we got, the racial inequality. I understand that. Believe me, I'm dealing with this shit myself. And this is the reason why music is kind of like with me, because it's like all right, I'm not hood enough to be with the hood people. I'm not white enough to be over here.
Right.
You come out like this, you just look weird as fuck. Who the fuck are you? Where you trying? Where you going? Because everybody's following a certain patch, a little group of people that
Yeah.
they can come around and say, okay, well, I'm part of like the democratic liberal left movement, so I'm making my music for them, and they will definitely respond.
Right.
Whereas when you're just trying to tell the truth, motherfuckers like,
Every
I don't want to hear that because this, and what about that, and what about this, and what about this, and what.
Everybody's coming with all these. Well, the CDC said this, and the WHO said this, and the police department said this. The Democrats, the Republicans, the liberals are doing this. Like, okay, but like it's weird. Like now, like people like we're starting. I think we're like fracturing more. Like we're becoming less and less civil. Like instead of us finding ways, like look, let's just find some common ground so we can get through this shit. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to hang out. But can we at least like come like some kind of understanding that helps this shit not seem so overwhelming? And no, it's like over the simplest thing, it turns like a whole how many comment long argument if it's an Instagram post or however many comments long post of you comment on something on YouTube or whatever. Like it gets mad. Like I said, this is corny. Like I don't want to do this shit. I just want to create. I just want to be artistic. I just want to relate to people. I just want to get people where they are. I'm not perfect. Part of my computer is going to be making like random sounds because the work from home life is real. So
It's all good.
these damn alerts don't stop. But yeah, like yo, like it just makes it makes everything feel whack. Like yo, I don't want to do this shit no more because I'm angry at stepping on people's toes and making other people angry. I'm just trying to do what makes me comfortable and what I think will help me relate to people. That's all I want to
Right,
do.
right. And part of my summoning the self type of thing that Richard's trying to push now is like
You doing it?
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it yet, but I
Okay.
might. Why you want to do it?
Yeah.
You
I'm
doing it?
kind of yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How's it
Yeah.
working out? How's it
Oh,
working out? Because I'm just doing my own little thing. Because I'm just a crazy person. Like I just go and all right, let me pick some information from there, pick some information from there, and then try
yeah.
to make a picture myself. Like oh, here's a picture. Like that's
Yeah.
me. So I'm running my own wheels, trying to like right now podcasting. This is part of summoning the self to me. This is me being me
Being you.
to
Mhm.
Eugene. We never met in person.
Yeah.
Like all of that type of shit. Like just being able to talk. I don't even talk on camera to people. You know how people video chat people and they talk
FaceTime and
like
all that. Yeah.
FaceTiming. Yo,
Nah.
my friends hit me up and I'll be like, push that button. Like, why are you trying to video me right now?
I want to
This
talk.
wrong.
Text me.
Right. Why can't you just use the phone like a normal person?
Right.
Why you
I
gotta
wanted
see
to
what
talk
I'm
to
looking
you.
like right now? Why you gotta see what I'm doing? Like, no, get
Right.
out of
Like
here.
I'm still in bed. I still got like, yo, like the scarf. See now, like if you would have called earlier, this scarf would have been totally different. I have to make this stylish. But anybody try to call me like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh no, 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 no. We're not doing that. We're not
Right. And
doing that.
that's what I've been getting, especially in 2020, with everybody just doing, not
Mhm.
working or doing their own thing. They're hitting me up at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, like, yo, what's up? What you doing? I'm like,
Bruh.
I'm
Right.
drinking coffee, trying to roll a blunt right now, like trying to enjoy my
Right.
day in the
Trying to
morning.
get breakfast. Like
Right. Right. Like this is the
yeah.
time that I meditate and I look outside and shit. You want to call me? Nah.
Right. Totally messing up my me time, man. You're killing the whole way. Yeah. Now like it's the same, it's like where I'm at right now. It's awkward. I guess like I don't know, like I'm just chalking up my 30s like a year where I'm trying to answer the WTF. Like the big that's what all of my 30s is gonna mark. Like I'm 36, gonna be 37. And I'm like, all right, well, I definitely thought that life was gonna go a certain way. Like I tried the college route, tried the multiple job route, finally went to little corporate kind of like shoots and slides shit for a little bit, and it felt cool like for a while. Like little by little the money started coming, and I think that it kind of like it felt cheap that I was doing it because I'm like, yo, this isn't really what I want to do. But now the question is like, well, then what the hell do you really want to do, motherfucker? Like you have a plan. Like,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
You don't know what you want to do, Rose?
Nah, no, I don't. Like I know how to get by, but these are times now that I'm thinking that it's putting I don't know, it's just you. Like I can't speak for everybody, but maybe you could relate. Like the uncertainty of everything really makes it so like you're back in a space where you're like, what's the purpose? What is the point? Because if I don't have a point for why I'm doing it, it doesn't have to matter to anybody else. But if I don't got a point for why I'm doing it, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna quit, because it will feel cool for a while. The novelty will wear off, and then I'll be back to this shit is lame.
Yeah, and that's with everything that I've ever done. Like,
Mm-hmm.
although I did music all my life, I wasn't just not working.
Right.
I've been working. I worked at FYE. I worked at Circuit City when I was popping. I worked at Radio Shack. I worked at two different fucking grocery stores. I worked at 3 or 4 different gas stations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then that's just retail shit, warehouse shit. I did a bunch of different things. It all just feels like a rat race. For me, it always felt like a rat race.
Yeah.
And part of doing the music was because I didn't achieve it yet, but I can kind of see that would have been the same wheel, but just a bigger wheel. You know what I mean? Like the
Right.
idea was if I'm touring and even though I'm doing the same shit every day and most places look the same, most places, right? Most
Right.
places in America look the same. I'm still like tricking my mind to say, oh, you're doing something. You're going places over here. You're going that way. So, like,
Keep going. Right. And you
yeah,
like,
just
but
keep going.
you almost there. Right. That's why you be like, yo, I'm tired. I'm sick of this shit.
I'm tired. I know what's on the other side. I've heard it enough. I don't need to go check for myself. And
Yeah.
I've seen enough. I just did a little couple peeks over and I can see, nah, this is not where I want to be really.
Yeah.
Like, so now my thing is to try to keep myself motivated and find some type of inspiration. It usually takes, now I'm painting, I'm doing a podcast, I'm
Nice.
making beats, I'm writing songs. So now I don't have time to think as much. I mean, I can sit and think, but like you got this, you got that, you got this, got that. Okay, you really got to do this music shit because you really, people want to listen to some new songs, whatever. So okay, I really want to do this shit, but I'm not in the mood. Let me just paint.
Right. Right.
And then I start painting and I go, lyrics, or I got this sound, and then I'll turn, and every now and then I'm just dabbling here and dabbling there and dabbling here. So I'm not like killing myself. Like when I usually do music, it would be like, okay, these 2, 3 months, I'm going to rock out all the songs. I'm going to make sure that they as best as I can get them to be, and it wouldn't be really writing. The writing will come quick once I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
And then everything else, creating it and making the sound a certain way and trying to put my own little twist to it, that'll be after.
Right.
But I would burn myself out after 3 months, like after listening to the songs all day, every day, after practicing the songs, after like now I got to promote the songs, and I have half energy for them because they're kind of old to me. So I got
Yeah.
to trick myself to really push them. Now,
To
if I
get
had a
hype again.
tour, so if I had a tour going, then I could trick myself. Well, just because of the tour, I got to make sure that this. So then I could. But I'm getting too old for that. I'm getting too old. Getting too old for that.
But is it really a matter of like age, or is it a matter of the fact that like once we go through that process, like it, I think like going back to like, well, getting to the point, like inspiration, like going through the process, you have the whole like, okay, I know what I'm doing this for. I know what I'm doing this for. But does like somehow with how times are changing and like everything seems like such a push, like it's such a laborious act to like bring something to life. It goes from like an idea, like it goes from like a melody, a beat in your head to now, all right, well, I got the bass out, the percussion laid down, you know, Pro Tools or Reason, whatever you use. Cool, got that worked out. Now I'm gonna lay chords. Now I'm gonna lay bass, or I'm gonna put down my lyrics, and all right, now I didn't listen to it and I perfected it. Now I mixed it and I mastered it and it sounds great, but now what? Like that, like that now what goes from being like a little small nudge in the back of your brain, so it gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more that you work on it, and somehow like the energy just kind of like gradually comes down. You go from being real high, you be on a high, and a little bit more every day, you fall off. So it's really, is it age, or is it a matter of like we're just in times where it takes so much to get things done that
I think it could be that. For me, it's like I think it's also an understanding, unconscious understanding that I don't have the money to really put it out to the world the way I want people to pick it
right,
up. I
right,
just don't, because like if you have the money, you can go on YouTube and find how do I make this song big, and they'll tell you a list of shit to do, and all you gotta do is follow suit, hit up the people you need to hit up the TikTok influencers so they can do a dance to your shit, hit up some meme pages, meme companies so they can make up memes for your shit. You can hit
right,
up Spotify playlists and then you can get it on playlist, but all of that goes to money. And it
right,
doesn't even necessarily mean that when you spend all the money that you can spend is going to even be recouped. It
right,
just means that
exactly,
you're going to be big enough to go and say, okay, now I want to tour and then possibly make money. So if there's
right,
no tour, or if the tours are like scattered, my music comes from being in energy and like almost like a mosh pit type of energy. Like the last tour I did, people were standing still. And it wasn't even for me; it was for the headliners too. So I'm like,
oh, that's
it was a
horrible.
packed show. You had like 2 or 3 songs where everybody was like, yeah, yeah, but the rest of it, everybody was just standing there looking, putting their phone up, and
Yeah,
that already is trash to me because I'm from like, yo, we do this shit in a little dive bar with a little ass stage and everybody's over, people are going crazy. Like, what you here for? Y'all came to
right,
enjoy this shit. Now you
right,
can't even tell them that. You can't be like, oh, you came to enjoy this shit. Let's come on, let's turn up. They'll be like, nah.
nah.
I'm right here with it. You turn up. You turn
Right.
up.
We paid you. We want you. We want to see you jumping all over the place. And it's like like even change like how concerts are. Like, it's like artists got to come out with like how many people on the stage like mimic the lyrics behind them if they rapping, or or sing the lyrics behind them if they're singing, because like you got to have hype people, because everybody just kind of like with they phone, like everything is being viewed through the filter of tech. Everything is
Mhm.
being live streamed. Everything is being put on someone's story. Everything is on their Facebook, whatever, Instagram, whatever social media. Like everybody's kind of just standing there doing this instead of actually enjoying the show and taking it for like a singular experience. And maybe that because we're so not in the moment, maybe that might be a part of it. I don't know, because we talking about inspiration. Inspiration was like you're in spirit, you're
Mhm.
inspired, like you're in your element, you're in your energy, you're in that energy. So are we like knocked out? Like, are we outside of ourselves? So that's what we're like, because we're not. It takes being in the moment, and this is where the whole summon in the self thing kind of came from. Not to give away the whole purpose of Richard's project, but it's like, yeah, like if we're not present, you don't feel anything. I don't know if you've done that. Like that's kind of like we're getting, we have the conversation about smoking and why everybody needs to like drop a shroom or I don't know, smoke an L, pop a pill, whatever to get you back, right? To get you back here, because that wheel kind of it's not just external, like it's external and it's internal. You got your own little wheel, something that you're chasing in that you can't really describe. Then the world got you on a wheel where you're going according to, if you want this, you got to do boom, 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 boom. So everybody's trying to like live life by number, color or paint by number, instead of just going with, I'm feeling this color, I'm feeling this beat, I'm feeling these words or whatever, and just going and letting the energy of the moment take you. But to get into the energy of the moment, you got to be in the moment, and we not in the moment.
No, we're not. We're not. And I think that because I should be thinking. I don't be reading up a lot of shit. Like I watch people and I do my research, but not as much. Sometimes I just be thinking. Sometimes I just be making up theories. So I can see how that can have a correlation to anxiety. If you're never in the moment and then something smacks you and puts you right in the moment, and then you're like, oh shit, now I gotta
deal with
now. I gotta deal with now. I can't just be like whatever. I can't just like part of summoning the self. When I used to go to shows, there used to be 3,000 kids there. Of course, back in the day, wasn't everybody had a phone in their pocket, but not everybody was trying to pull it up. Quality was gonna be trash anyway. But there was still like there was maybe 30 cameras in the sky. To a show of 3,000.
Right. People still had a lighter than they had a camera. Because everybody was ready for that moment where you put your lighter up. But not like now it's like everybody put your phone camera light on, and like this is cool, this is whack. Again, this is not really what it is, because people are trying to capture the moment now so you could replay it later. So you're not even in it right now to feel the fun of the moment, to feel how dope it is to see a great artist, to see a great show, to mosh around and get hyped with everybody. That was the whole point of wanting to go to concerts for me when I was younger. Just watching how the crowd would get so excited over the artist. It was so much fun.
Exactly. And then just letting loose, just being like, this is what I fucks with. This is my song. That's my shit. Like,
right. Right.
And one thing I noticed was that some hip hop shows always been like that. Like some hip hop shows always been that way, unless it was somebody that's like, super big, then people can't help themselves. They go, fuck it. But if it's like, you're in New York and Chingy goes up there, but you went to the club to see Chingy, but you really didn't go to the club to see Chingy. You went to the club to see the girls that Chingy was going to end up bringing, because, you know what I mean? Like his fan base. But then everyone's looking at him like I watched David Banner perform, and everybody was like,
just staring.
There was like 2 rows of people in the front that was really rocking. Right. And everyone else was just, and he was going in, he was sweating, he was on top of some dude, he was going through the crowd, and everyone was like, hey, yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
but that was all hip hop dudes. Right. Nowadays, I think that narcissism, hip hop mentality of I'm cooler than you, don't step on my shoes. Right. That has sunk since it's sunk in. We can see that it's sunk into everything. It shows. Yeah. It shows.
Yeah, it does. Hell yeah. Like it's just like going to the club. Like you said, like, yeah, people used to go to the club or be able to go to the club and see a performer, because every now and again, performers drop an album. So they're trying to, hit the club circuit and get everything turned up. And I think one time back in the day, I went to a club with my homegirls because Sean Paul was going to be there. And everybody was so like stuffy, tight, don't want to dance or nothing, because or had they phone out or had some like mini camera, whatever out, digital camera out. And it's like people are too worried about like getting sweaty. Like, nah, I don't want to sweat up my nice dress. I don't want to sweat up my nice shirt. I don't spill your drink on my shoes. Like it was kind of boring. Like if you was in the back, unless you got there early enough to be in the front, like being toward the back of the club is everybody's trying to flex. instead of like enjoy the damn moment. So if you didn't get there and you back there with the people trying to flex, you actually feel awkward because you don't want to be in the back, getting hype, and everybody just looking at you like, what are you doing?
Right.
So everybody now back there like.
See, what? when it comes to stuff like that, like that's one time I'm at a show to perform to enjoy this shit. Fuck you, motherfuckers that's out here hating. I'm enjoying it right in front of you, and y'all go watch your stank ass face. I'm like, get out of here, man. This is my shit right here. Like, I wanted, you know what I mean? This is what I came here for.
Yeah, right. This is what I spent my money for. Right. It told me to sit still or calm down. Like, no, I paid my money to come in here and have a good time. So I don't like what would you talk about? I want to hear none of that. Oh, can you not? You're spilling your drink. Well, then you need to move away from around me because I'm gonna dance. So it is what it is. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry.
Right. What are we here for? What are we here for? So what's going on with New York City? How's New York City looking? I haven't been out there in some years. I know it's looking crazy. I heard.
How long?
Like 4 years. 4 years.
Okay.
Last time, Richard Grannon talks about Duncan Trussell. You know about Duncan Trussell, right?
Yeah, Midnight Gospel, Duncan Trussell, right?
The last time I was over in New York. I actually only went over there for a weekend to go see Duncan Trussell, his podcast live. Like, that was 4 years ago. Yeah, I was over there. It was dope. I was over there, like, I smoked a little weed and shit. And I'm happy to be out, happy to be in New York City again, happy to see Duncan Trussell. So I'm smiling. Right. And that's what I do. Like, when I'm out, like, I learned to just be more, because usually I'm right?
Right.
I'm smiling so much, everybody's looking at me like I got the fucking drugs on me. They're looking at me like, maybe him. I'm watching people point at me, maybe him over there. He's smiling too damn much.
There, right? He seems really happy. Ask him.
He must have the shrooms or the LSD. Everyone's looking at me like, this guy over
there. Yeah. Like New York, it's like, I don't know, like the energy in the city has really been dampened. And that's like putting it lightly, because most of the places where you would go where it would be hella busy, like you go to Times Square, hella dead. You go Lower Brooklyn, Williamsburg area, like that area is usually always kind of like like hustle bustle, people moving around, going to clubs, going to shows. That significantly died down. Everything has kind of been like reduced to, like, if you live in that area, then you know where to go around the area to kind of like at least like enjoy a walk in a park or go to some place where you could dine outside. But everything that made people want to be in the city in the summertime is not popping right now at all. Broadway shut down. Mad concert events. Every concert venue is shut down. Maybe in certain areas and pockets you might be able to like see a movie. I think they do like drive-in things where, like, if you separated 6 feet, then you can be in a car, watch a movie. Some outdoor picnic spaces they have now. But it's like, it's weird because like you have like your own little pen of grass where you and like 2 other people, I think it's like max 3 or 4 people, can be like in your designated area and chill outside. It's so weird. Like, it's so sterile. And New York is not a sterile place. Used to everybody like being sweaty, funky, coughing, drinking, laughing, yelling, just acting a fool out here. That's what New York does in the summertime. This hydrants is open, children's run around playing. Yeah, like, and all that's really died down. So
damn.
It's not that's terrible. Not to make sound so fatalistic, it's not terrible, but it's definitely like it's significantly like diminished the activity.
It's like a move. It's like one of those movies. It's like
I Am Legend.
Like I Am Legend.
Yep, walking
or
through
like Vanilla Sky. Vanilla Sky. I saw Vanilla Sky the other day. That's what I'm thinking.
That movie is wild, ain't it? That movie tripped me the hell out when I saw it. I'm sitting there like, what is going on? Like, he like the Cameron Diaz was freaking wild in that movie. Off the I swallowed your I'm like, Yeah, I don't want to. People haven't seen it. You better have seen freaking Vanilla Sky. But yeah, like she's like spazzing out, talking about I
Right.
swallowed your stuff, and you want to
You could say those words. Are you worried about people around your house? You worried about
not the censorship. Like I want to get another. Yeah, it's like I swallowed your sperm. What do you mean you don't want to see me anymore? I'm gonna kill us both. I'm like, oh, this broad's crazy. Yeah, it was a wild movie. That movie was good, but yeah, it definitely is like Vanilla Sky, like on some old, what in the world, some alternate reality of people, yeah, just not being out in the street. It's weird and everything. And then when you do see anybody, it's somebody in a mask. So like that just kind of already makes you feel like you can't interact with people the way that you can't engage the way that you normally would and say good morning or anything, because people are looking at you like, what?
That nothing worse than a bunch of motherfuckers with attitudes in a mask.
Right. Hell yeah. Like, it makes you feel like it feels creepy. It feels like I said, it feels uncomfortably sterile. You know, so dealing with it is weird. What about things out your way?
Things out my way is popping. I'm in a Republican area, so it's really popping. It's lit over here.
Right. They out there hard body.
The Mexican restaurant, 2 miles away, 3 miles away, they don't even social distance, and half their venue is outside, so you can see it from the highway as you drive by, and everyone in there, no one gives a fuck about nothing.
Right.
They don't care about nothing. Everyone's wearing their masks in certain spots because they think people care, but as soon as you get to the bar, you take your shit off, you start walking around, and everyone's just
right. Everybody's like, nah, we in here. If we out here, then we already got it. Whatever.
It's dead, I think, because some people are really scared, so they're not really going out as much, or some people are broke. Like when I went to go see New Mutants, I know you asked me about that in the DM, but when I went to go see that, it was me, my girl, and a couple. It was like another couple, like 3 rows behind us. That was it. Like 4 people.
In the whole, damn.
On a Friday of the showing. I want to say it was Friday or Saturday, one of the two. But
yeah, because I think I remember seeing it before the weekend started. Yeah. Wow, that's so crazy. That, like I said, that just it feels weird. Like I don't think that is anything wrong with. Again, if you feel some kind of way about like your health, your safety, fine, be distant or whatever. But people are like full hermit mode, full lockdown. No, we're not going outside. We only going out for the essentials. Don't talk to nobody you don't know. And it's like it's such a mind screw to see everything that way.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, man. It's like, because I don't know, like, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen in the upcoming years? Is this shit going to just turn back on? Because I heard some people say Biden is the cure for COVID. So if we get Biden in there, COVID goes away.
I'm not that optimistic.
I'm not a scientist. I don't know the math to that one.
Right. But sitting there like 2 + 2 is 4, 5 + 5 is 10. Wait a minute. I don't carry the 2, the 5, and like I don't see how that people are making that correlation. Now, like any kind of thing that's going on with politics is gonna cure a worldwide health situation. So, all right, you believe that if you want to, but yeah.
So you believe that COVID's out here killing people the way they say it is, or what do you think? What is your stance? You're allowed to have your own opinion outside of any bubble that they think you belong in. So go ahead, UG. Let me know.
And that, like, as somebody who lost a couple of loved ones this year, like, I think that something is happening that is affecting people who are the most vulnerable. So if you already had, if your immune system was already hit, then it was already hit. If you're immunodeficient, if you already had some other condition, let's say with comorbidity, then like it's kind of like picking people off. If you didn't know, that your health was crazy, it's picking people off. But I think that like the timing of it happening, like specifically this year, is kind of wild to me. I'm just like, something is wrong there, because we've had how many other SARS, MERS going around in the atmosphere for how long? I think the other day somebody freaking popped up with the bubonic plague. I'm like, yo, these things out here. So why all of a sudden, like, is it this year that like suddenly there's like this mushroom cloud of, again, what the fuck? Out of nowhere. We don't know what it is. It's in the air. Cover your eyes, cover your ears, cover your mouth. Like, it seems so, it seems so wrong. It seems so odd. And it don't sit right in my spirit. No, something is off. And I really think that whatever is happening, it's doing more to people mentally. It's going to do more to us mentally than anything else that could physically happen to us. The constant propaganda and the constant, the loudspeakers saying, wear a mask, and billboards flashing social distance, wear a mask in service areas and all this. So like when I was going to the beach, seeing people like around the beach area with masks on, I'm like, we're by the water. You're gonna go with COVID. Don't like water. It's not you gonna go in the same ocean as everybody else, right? We're rationing out. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't.
No, see, I didn't even think about that. The fact of like all the damn billboards in New York City turning into COVID ads.
Yes, people are in the ad with masks on. I'm like, yo, this is such mind screw that no matter what they're doing, no matter the fact that people have been told that, hey, people are getting over it, there are people living with it, people recovering from it. The mind screw that is happening right now to put regulation in place is gonna outlast anything. So it's like saying, okay, well, we're telling you from the start of the year to the end of the year, everybody has to walk around with a purple flower or a purple scarf wrapped around their neck or something, or you don't get nothing that you need. And then afterward, okay, well, after the end of the year, and they just start watching to see who's gonna start taking on the purple scarf, and people are gonna be like, oh no, don't take the scarf off because they might change. Everybody's gonna be paranoid. So you're gonna say, okay, you don't need the mask no more. You don't need the social distance anymore. The damage is done for people who have fragile mental states. People's minds are blown.
You're right, and the problem is that we us two being people that like look for the information, try to figure some shit out. Obviously our connection to Richard Grannon.
Right.
We actually were doing some of the work.
Right, exactly. To be like, you know what, I'm gonna think
for myself. A lot of people weren't doing the work. Now they get smacked with the rude awakening, and they're not ready to prepare. And it's crazy because like mental illness is a big topic, whether people want to acknowledge it or not, in the whole world. In media, the songs are emo as they can come today. The movies are as emo as they can come today. You asked me about New Mutants. What was New Mutants about?
Yeah.
You just make, you know what I mean? What do you think it was about? Trauma, mental illness.
Really?
That's what it was about. It was basically like X-Men, but darker, deeper into their traumas. In X-Men they get ripped out of their homes and some shit happens to like, Jubilee and all that. But this was more like deeper, darker. Your powers come from your fears and
wow.
Yeah.
All right. See, so now I need to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like that's the theme. Last year, Joker was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, movie of the year. It didn't have much. It didn't have much action in it as far as for a superhero movie. It was what was it? Why was it striking a nerve? Was it Joker? Because Joker was that good? I doubt it. I know Joker would have, just a Joker movie would have pushed that, the numbers a little bit, but not to the extent of the way it made a big explosion.
Right.
The reason it did is because we're all, like remember, I don't know how long. How long have you been listening to Richard, or like watching his videos?
I think I want to say that I started watching his videos in like 2017. Yeah, because I was in the midst of like a shitty relationship, and I'm like, you know what, there has to be. I started seeing that the pattern of stuff started to bother me, and I would realize like even when it came to music that I would listen to, or the shows that I would watch, like things just started to like hit me in a way where I'm like, I'm not feeling myself. I feel like I'm being stifled, and I gotta find some way to stop adjusting to being in pain. And yeah, after that, like when I found Richard, it's funny that you find other people who are going through wild shit when you figure out that you're going through some wild shit. Like everybody just kind of like gets on the same wave of the, yeah, like I'm trying to heal and I'm trying to figure stuff out. And if you don't have the resources, if you haven't read anything, you know, prior to when you're going through some shit, you do tend to like really cling to someone who starts being able to make sense of what the hell is going on with you.
100%.
So yeah. What
I
about you?
got when was it? What year was that? I think it was 2015
Okay.
or 16. So it's been a long time. Like, he don't know. I look up to him like
Big brother, right?
big
Not the
brother for
government big
real.
brother, right? But like Sam Big Brother,
For
yeah.
real. Because when we're like, obviously we're two dudes, but he traveled and he went try to find, answers in different cultures,
Yeah,
and he's talking about it and he's breaking stuff down. Then I'm like, this guy relates to me perfectly.
right.
And I know he knows his shit because he went other places to other cultures and he realized it's the same shit over there. So
Yeah,
that's how I first was like, wait a minute, let me listen to this dude. Let me, but since then, my point was, since then, how many more CPTSD, narcissistic abuse people, like, it's
BPD,
such a
all
big
that. Yeah,
trend. It's such a big trend. If I put up a post about narcissism, just narcissism. If it could be the most generic type of Instagram post. If I put it up, I'm guaranteed to get 5 to 10 followers. Nothing else does that right now. What
yeah,
does that mean? That means that there's a trend of everybody knowing about their mental illness, doing their own research about their mental illness, and this probably way before Corona came around. Because how many people do we know? Like, I know Lisa Romero. What's her name? Do you know
yeah,
about Lisa?
yeah.
I
Dr.
think she's in.
Romero.
Yeah, she's in Queens,
Yeah.
right? So, like, I watched all these. I started with Richard Grannon and Ross Rosenberg,
Okay.
but now look at how many people are talking about it. Everybody's talking about it, down to the point of people that wouldn't normally be even giving a fuck
Right.
are putting up memes, or even if it's like, don't be around toxic people. The idea of toxic, the word toxic, and
Behavior.
it being an actual like trendy word, like, oh, that person's toxic over there. What does that mean? That means that they have actually been either doing research or getting watched a video or two, or and everyone now is learning manipulation for dating. Like,
Right. Right.
what
Yeah.
that's to me, that's the piercing of the veil. That's the, oh, look behind the curtain. Look at how it happens and how you can prevent it. For that
Exactly.
aspect. Not talking about
Exactly.
people pleasers or anything like that, but just for normal people, right? You
Right.
can see
And
coming.
the thing is that, but it's funny because, like you said, because awareness is because like toxicity is becoming an adjective that is like a hot button word now. Like you'll find, like we're like you, it's easy, we can go back and listen to how even in music, because for me, when I went through my whole kind of like my little punk phase when I was younger, I started to realize like how many artists, depending on who you were listening to, the artists that didn't really get on like that were artists that were talking about like how crazy stuff was in the world. Papa Roach, Last Resort, was talking about suicide.
Mm-hmm.
System of a Down, Toxicity, was talking about how toxic the world is, in Prison Song. So when I got into my little like rock emo phase when I was like 17, 18, 19, um, I realized like how many different artists were talking about how weird shit is and how people are making profit off of disorder, how people are using us, like again, like it's like rats,
Mm-hmm.
hence the rat wheel that everybody has become. Like it's been like all these have kind of like been bubbling in the collective unconscious for a long time, to the point where now it's getting to the point where now it's bubbled over. You know,
Yep.
if it's a pressure cooker, the lid's been on too long, the lid's been blown off, and now all of these things that we've been repressing and not wanting to talk about, think about, discuss, have to be discussed now. And it has to be discussed not just from the eldest, but to the youngest. We have to start telling children about the fact that, hey, there are crazy people out there that are looking at you like they have the right to touch you. They have the right to your body. You have to exert boundaries. You have to know when people are making you feel, dis-ease, you to get away from them. And you have to learn to discuss your feelings instead of just hitting people. And all these, like the whole discussion has changed from man to woman to child, because we realize for how long we've been like floating in this pool of mental and emotional illness that we haven't talked about, but it's been making us sick. And people are walking around sick and not really wanting to tell someone, hey, you're sick, because people are like, well, I can't tell nobody else they're sick. I'm sick. So who am I to say anything?
Right. And I mean, even if you tried it, what is it gonna really do? For most people, it's not gonna do nothing. Like you're just gonna create an enemy.
Right.
You're really not gonna, you're not gonna change anything about their life. Like some people you can possibly give a little nudge, and you gotta get like what I've been trying to hone in on is doing the little nudge, here you go, and keep it pushing. Yeah. Don't try to badger on. Don't try to beat them in the head with it, because it's not going to work after a while. It's like defense wall up, nigga, fuck out of here. What you doing? So,
right.
For me, it's like, oh, yeah, maybe blah, blah, blah. And then, come back later. Don't hit them with it every fucking day. Let them be their person. But try to find a new way to introduce, hey, look right there. Didn't you do that? All right, cool. Because I do that too. And I'm trying to work that out, but I don't want you to be doing that to me and then think it's okay, I do to you, and now we starting a pattern. Let's make sure that we stay right here with it,
Yeah, like let's discuss it in a boundary way, but let's come to like a mutual consensus that, like, look, you got some stuff that you do that I don't like. I got some stuff that I know that I do that you don't like. So let's just try to work with each other and just make each other aware. Let's not engage in a way where we act like our shit don't stink. You got stuff that you need to deal with. I got stuff I need to deal with. So if I do it, bang, hit me on it. Cool, no problem. And I'll say, hey, yeah, I did do that. Damn. All right, let me go and check myself, and I apologize and keep it going.
Right. What I do sometimes, I check myself before anybody even does. I say it, and I'm like, because I'm lazy as fuck right now. I just, you know what I mean? I just blurt out, here's why, because I'm paranoid. I'm a paranoid little fuck. Like, I start coming at myself, but not in a way of like, I'm not sitting there like, oh, I'm a paranoid. I'm laughing about it. I got it off my shoulders. Hey, you know what I mean? Right. You understand. And it also, what it does, it makes the people around me, once I'm around them long enough, they go, that's, it kind of, cool. you start getting the, let me pick up what that person has, even if you don't want to. You start picking up their little cues, their little jokes or whatever. And that's the joke I try to push. All right, just be honest with yourself. Just laugh and be honest with yourself and tell it out in the open and promote it to the point where everyone feels like it's okay. And it's cool now to talk about your problems. Make it cool to joke on yourself a little bit and not take things so seriously.
Yes, that is what's needed so bad, and it's freaking dope that you do that, because a lot of people are like, oh well, nothing is wrong with how people want to deflect, and no, it's not me, it's you all the time. It's constantly like what they never want to like own their shit. So you sitting there like, you get pissed off and you don't want to be confrontational, but you're like, you know what, okay, if this person is not going to like adjust the behavior, then you got to do one of two things. Either you have to reduce your contact with that person and be like, look, I can only be around them when I'm in the state to deal with it and handle them, or you just got to leave them the hell alone entirely. So, and just disengage, because you don't want to be that person that's sitting there. Well, I can show you this term in Carl Jung's book about your situation and what you're doing and And other people are like, what the you talking about? Like, I don't understand any of that. So, it becomes like a frustrating situation, because like you're speaking two different languages. But when it gets to the point where you find like a mutual ground, a common ground, we can be like, look, I know that I got some stuff that I do. So I do it, fine, let me know. That's fine. I know that I got issues. Matter of fact, damn, see, I'm here. I go projecting. Here I go deflecting. Here I go not wanting to calm down. Here I go like feeding into my rage. Let me woo-saw real quick. Let me go let me go outside and smoke L. Let me go have a drink or something, like whatever. Like, and even then, like it's funny because then you start to realize like what you do to cope with it and how much, whether it's helping or it's making it worse. So you just wind up like kind of like it's a constant now trying to let me equalize myself, let me balance myself, because I know that when I drink too much, then I'm a real asshole. When I don't drink at all, then I'm hella aggy. Then I don't even want to talk to nobody. But when I'm nice, I'm in a space where we can have a conversation. Just let me get nice. Let me put my bag down. Let me turn off my laptop. And if you want to talk, cool. Now I'm in a state to talk. Let me manage my state. Now we're in a state where I'm in a state where we can talk and communicate.
Yep. Yeah. So what's this about you having finding inspiration to do what?
Finding hit me with these things. I wasn't ready. We need to go back.
The reason why I brought it up is because it's like, what do you when I hit you up, I said, yo, we're gonna do this podcast, blah blah. We set up a date, whatever. You're like, cool, because I've been lacking inspiration. And I'm like, all right, cool. Now we're 50 minutes in, and you've been talking, you've been talking your shit like I've been talking mine. And what's the problem? This is what we do.
Right. Yeah, but I see, like, I don't know, I guess it made it comfortable with you. But yeah, I don't know. Like I guess like just finding like what's the point? For me is where I keep going back to, like, okay, I want to do a video, but like I don't have like a ton of life experience, so no, I can't go around supposing to tell anybody about life. I can tell people about mistakes. I could talk all day about shit that I fucked up on.
So life. What you mean? You know life. But what is it that you felt like you haven't done yet that you need to do to be the person to say the things that you're already feeling?
I guess like I don't like coming from a space where I feel like I'm talking at people. So maybe I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm not confident enough to feel like, okay, I'm talking to people. I'm not talking at anyone, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I can be very verbose, very strong with my opinion. I'm like a dog with a bone. Like, unless you better come with a hell of an argument before I'm like, okay, I see what you say. But when people are like, well, you shouldn't think that way, I'm like, and you don't have anything to back it up, I'm like, okay, well, you talk all day. I don't care. I don't care what you say. If you talk about, like, no disrespect, like, to you, but what you're saying right now, not a fly. So like learning to have communication where, like, I'm not one of those people where convert to my frame of mind or we can't have a discussion. Mm-hmm. But some people want to tell you that you don't have a right to make a point because they can cite other things and they can do whatever and they can kind of like shit on your point. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine, but I'm not trying to shit on anybody's point. I just am trying to find my point. So if you don't agree with my points, that's fine, but don't come for me. So yeah, so I feel like maybe that's where I'm at, where I'm like,
so you feeling a little like not guilty, but are you feeling some type of way that you won't be able to manage yourself? Won't be able to hold back?
That maybe it's a combination of that, but it's also like when you look at certain people, like, I could look at you and be like, yo, you've been doing stuff for a long time. You've been making music for a long time. So if I ever like had a question about music, I would come to you and ask you because of how long you've been like invested in your craft, to know what you're talking about. But for me, it's like, okay, well, I don't really think that I know as much as I should, because there's still like an element of life that I feel like I'm not getting.
What is that? What element is that?
I can't even really articulate. Maybe I feel like I'm not self-reliant enough. Like I feel like I'm not able to handle my shit sometimes, because when life happens, like I fall the hell apart, but then I get my shit back together and I slap a Band-Aid on it, journal about it, keep going. But sometimes people don't want, I think, and maybe I'm projecting, maybe it is a projection, I don't think that people really want someone who is in the midst of trying to get it together. They want people who look like they got it together. So whether that's you have a look, you have a certain aesthetic, you have certain qualifications, you have better manage your way of relaying information or whatever. Like, I can talk about some mental shit because I've seen people in my family go mental. I've seen loved ones go mental. I've seen people come, go through their dark nights and come back out the other side and be better people. And I feel like I've been in one for a pretty long time and I'm still dealing with it. So I don't really think I'm in a space where I could tell anybody like how to do life, because I still don't feel like I know how to do life.
So. Yeah, and I don't think you need to tell people how to do life. You just need to give your perspective. You know the information. What I'm hearing is that you're feeling unworthy. I'm unworthy. I'm not worthy.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy. Believe me, that's exactly what I be dealing with. But I'll be like, fuck that shit. I go on YouTube for like 20 minutes. I get my narcissism up just enough to muster something. And I'll be like, I go, look at this asshole. Look at that one. He don't even know what he's talking about right there. He just talking. He don't even got all the information right now. What is he talking? So then I'm like, you know what? People make mistakes. Here I go. I'm gonna make some mistakes. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna do this. And the idea is more just the progression. It's more the progression. Like, there's been plenty of podcasts and people that I used to go to, and I'll be like, what the hell? And then I come back 2-3 years later and I see that they progressed, and now they're ill with it. Now they know how to talk. Now it's not so noisy. Now the sound's right. Now the set's right, because they just kept working it. And I think you're missing that point. You're missing that people probably do want to root for you and want to be behind you and want to, see your progression little by little. And of course, for the majority of people, don't give a fuck. Like, look, 7 people watching. They don't give a fuck about me like that. You know what I mean? It's all give me what you got, motherfucker. That's what.
I was hyped when you said that you was gonna do your podcast. I'm like, yes, let's go. I'm hella excited. I'm really glad that
you would be called early adapter pioneer. You would be called the pioneer, right? You would lead the fucking way.
Right. But
that's that's all we doing, man. We just throw a little pebble into the fucking lake. Just keep throwing the little pebbles into the lake. Just keep. I watched Richard. I watched Richard when he didn't have his shit together, and I knew he did. He had it half together. I knew, but I knew that he was coming from an authentic place, and he was trying to do his best. And that's all I wanted. I didn't want nobody to act like they fucking love the smell of their own farts. I wanted somebody that was gonna come through and be like, dog, he was coming through in a tank top. Like, let me tell you what's up. Let me tell you what happened. And I'm like, that's my guy.
Let me tell you what this broad did. No, let me tell you what these niggas did. This is why I'm at where I'm at right now. Yeah, no, I do have to say that that's exactly why. I was like, all right, maybe he has a point. Because when I came up on his stuff, he was like, yeah, he was I think he was still in Malaysia, I want to say. Yeah, so he was still overseas, and he looked fresh out of college. You couldn't have told me shit about him being older than me, but he looked like, man, he looked hella young. I'm like, who is this dude talking about psychology and shit? Like, and what is he talking about? What is this thing with CPSD? So I started looking into it, and the more and more his videos that I watched, I was like, oh, this feels horrible, but it feels horrible because I've been through it. So like also all like the discomfort that I started to feel around like talking about feelings and talking about how I thought, like you said, like because you being a Bronx native, like you said, like the part of you like having to get out of the hood was like because you just didn't find a whole lot of how your being just didn't resonate with it because you think beyond how people think we think in the Bronx.
Yeah. In bubbles. People that find themselves in bubbles and just stay into a specific bubble, they only have that collective. It's a collective, subconscious, collective
group
unconscious.
Mind. Yes,
group mind, group thinking. Thinking, like whatever.
Right.
However you want to say it. They want to think exactly, and once you start saying one thing that's like out of that paradigm, it's like, you said what? And it's like, yeah, I think this stuff too. Oh, he's the weirdo of the group. So I've always been the weirdo of every group.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that
my conclusion is that the groups are weird. The groups are weird.
deep sea, and that's where I'm like, yeah, for a long time I'm like, I think I spent so long saying no, like I'm the odd one in the group, so let me learn to just not. Every now and again I if I got around some people, I was like, all right, I'm able to talk the way that I talk and not feel bad around like one or two people. And they're like, and people are actually like not just like, again, I'm not talking at people, but people actually like engage in discussion with me. Like right now, it's like I'm able to talk to you. When we DMing each other on Instagram, I'm able to talk to you about like what you're doing and what's going on and everything. And I feel comfortable. But being around like one, there was like family dynamic, and two, like it's the dynamic that I kept putting myself in light that had me like, like if I really talk about what's going on in my mind, people are gonna think I'm nuts. And then my
I
family,
understand.
and then you don't want, and then elders in your family, you know how, again, now not just now you're dealing with people that are from the Bronx, but also from the Caribbean. So you don't talk to your elders a certain way. You don't talk to them about the fact that, you know what, you're manipulating me right now. You're violating my boundaries. You're like, oh, what is your chat about? I mean, I want to hear what's wrong with you. Like, a boundary, what is? Like, yeah, like there's no discussion about, hey, look, just because I'm younger than you, I'm not a child for you to just like kind of like wail on me or haul off on me or tell me not to speak or tell me how to think and how to be. And anything contrary to how you see things is me automatically being wrong. Sometimes love, sometimes control is a 4-letter word, love. So I'm like, yeah, maybe I don't really know love, because all I know are these dynamics where love turns into like coercion, love turns into control, love turns into like manipulation, and I'm tired of that. So I'm learning to dodge it instead of learning how to take it head on. So whenever things like confrontation would come up in my life, I would just like back off and just keep my thoughts to myself, because I was tired of being the one that was like, you're crazy. You don't think like everybody else. You're the one that's wrong. Who understands what you're talking about? Nobody. So what you're talking about don't mean shit.
Right. And that's why you're doing the summoning yourself course, huh?
Right. See, there you go. Bam.
Now I know what it is. Sometimes I get anxiety, depending on situation, depending on my day. Like I could just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, literally, and it's not like I'm gonna wake up. Usually, I'm not fucking furious or upset or anything, but like, there's been a couple of days that I woke up upset, and then I'm upset. Why the fuck am I upset? Like, ain't nothing like what?
Nothing wrong. Right. This is Aggie. Right.
Now I'm upset that I'm upset. Like, what's going on?
Right. Now I'm pissed that I'm pissed. What the hell? Right. Then you're like angry at yourself. Yeah. Right.
Oh, hold on. Let's take a question. If anybody got a question, a couple questions, and then we're gonna get the fuck out of here so UG can live her life and I can live mine. Not that we don't love y'all. We love y'all. We happy that you came and watched and stared at our faces. Appreciate that. So if y'all have any questions, or let me see if there is any questions, because I think somebody did ask something. Let's see what that is. All right. This is a question, but I don't know how much of a question this is. Where's Richard when we need emotional literacy in today's day and age? I feel like people haven't done the work and need to be reminded to become emotionally literate regardless of age and experience. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, that is true, Allison.
Like, what do you think we can do about that, UG? How can that?
I would say the stuff that Richard talks about, the things that like a lot of like mental health, professionals have been trying to, ones who are like honest and like not really like confrontational, but willing to be a little controversial, willing to be like a little bit like on the outskirts of like the popular opinion of how things are just treated in the community. I think that, just like with any other form of like being on the fringe or being artistic and being expressive, it's going to get to the point where it has to become common conversation that if you have these type of things happening in home dynamics, that you need to find a place to speak about it. there needs to be like some form of an institution or some form of like an easier access for people who don't go searching online for it to say, hey, well, I've heard of this and this and this condition, and I feel like I'm dealing with a couple of symptoms. I'm feeling like I really am not great with expressing myself, but I know that I feel like this tension, I feel that this unwellness in me, this dis-ease in me emotionally. Yeah, like I need to find a place where I can vent that, I can express that, but not just venting for the sake of venting, but like a place where people like start to be held to account for self-care, because
Right.
it could be out there all it wants to be, but until like, okay, now if you feel these ways, cool, we'll hear you out, but now here's the work, and this is what we need you to work on, because you need to kind of like come to life in yourself. You need to come to a better state of being in yourself. And it's not for anybody else. It's for you. It's confidential. We don't have to talk about it with everybody, but like making it a point to address yourself, to come back to self. Don't try to take on the world, because from speaking from experience, trying to take on the world is mentally and emotionally overwhelming. If you want a fast way to an emotional mental breakdown, try to have like the weight of the world heaped on you because you're pulling it onto you, thinking that you're gonna change anything major. No, do what you have to do to improve your life.
Yeah.
If everybody
Yeah.
was doing what they had to do to improve their own life, it spreads. It has like a collective effect.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, from experience, I definitely did that. I definitely put the weight on my shoulders for
Right.
years. I had the weight on my shoulder for like 10 years. Just, and it
Right.
sucked. It sucked because this much go wrong, you blow the fuck up because you think that everybody's watching, that you think that you're the one that needs to do things, that you know,
Right.
I mean, I feel like everyone's doing the best that they can. The ones that do know to spread the word. I feel like my goal, my mission is be, to play a little part in something big, to do something that can open up doors for other people. Just
Right.
because, just
Yeah.
because of this, just because
Yeah.
when you look at me, you recognize you in some way, or you recognize somebody that you used to be cool with, or you cool with, and you're like, this is the guy that I can rock with because he's kind of like me, and he's saying some shit that I've already been thinking. Because the reality of it is that most people already thought it, but not enough people are in contact with the information, or the influencer or whatever, to be influenced
Yeah.
enough to go, okay, maybe I need to pay attention to this, until something drastic happens, something traumatic, that they go looking for it. Most people don't even know that they need to be looking for it.
Right.
So
So by you
so
putting it out there, that helps. Yeah.
yeah, being a different face, a different perspective, a different voice, it doesn't matter. I mean, the message is not going to be, obviously not going to be exactly the same, but
Yeah.
just us putting in our little 2 cents, we can move things forward slowly, 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 and pull in the people that we can. You can't
Right.
save them all. You can't. There's no way. There's no possible way at all. There's so many people that are so far lost. They're so far removed. They're so far gone. They're so brainwashed. There's nothing you could tell them. And
Yeah.
the people that are watching this, and the people that like us, the ones that are talking, we're pretty smart on the IQ EQ scale. Like, we got both. We're pretty smart, and we're
Mm-hmm.
also emotionally in tune.
Right.
We're
But
probably like top 10% of the most,
the
you know what I
people
mean?
that are
Not
actively
even,
trying to
not
survive.
even, not even trying to boast or brag, because I still feel like I'm a moron. But at the
Right.
end of the
Like
day,
that part.
I know so many more people that it's like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. So
Yeah.
what do I call you if I want to shame you? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, because you're so far behind, you're so out of touch, you're so worried about what the new cool thing, the new toy that you could dangle is. You're
Yeah.
worried about how this looks to everyone else when we walk in and I make a joke. You're like, some people over there. Who the fuck are those people over there? We don't know them. But
Right.
you worried about them
It don't
more than you
matter.
worried about how you making me feel about the fact that I'm just saying a joke right now.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
not
Like you
doing no
go too
crazy,
far.
outrageous joke. I'm just making a little joke. you thinking I gotta be cool because everyone says I gotta be cool, you
You're
know?
right. Yeah, like trying to be like super extra for people who don't give a damn. And then when you're sitting there dealing with like the after effects, when the people who are closest to you are dealing with like, the fact that you're being like a jerk, then you're like, oh, I don't know why people can't relate to me around me because you're being an asshole trying to stunt for people who don't give a damn. So how about you just be you? Learn how to keep you right. Learn how to get you right. So this way you don't have to deal with like the bullshit. Thank you, Rebecca. So that you don't have to deal with like the bullshit like in your reality. You're not pulling that negativity into your reality where you're not in touch with yourself. I don't think there's any worse of a hell than not really knowing how to be you, how to do you, and still have, relationships that work, still have, family ties that work. It's a crazy place to live your life and finally like when you do start getting into like, okay, well, let me get myself emotionally literate. And you realize like how many people in your own family, how many dynamics in your own family may have made you feel alien, and how you like kind of have to like kind of keep stuff that you're doing to yourself, because if the whole family knew about it, you're doing that weird shit. You're talking that weird shit.
Right.
And they're trying to play the role for everybody else. Look at our family. Look at how we all get along, and it's all bullshit. You know how many times there would be like family functions going on, and I didn't want to go because I'm like, oh, so we gonna be faking for the holidays now? Are we gonna be fake? Right, we're gonna be faking for the camera now. Like nobody cares about one another besides when we get together on this day, these times of the year. But otherwise, we don't give a shit about one another, because when life hits, we all handle shit on our own. So where's the actual communal ties? Where are the actual ties that bind, and not like bind and restrict us, but the ties that help us to not take shit so serious that we can't address things and make things better in our own life, in our own family dynamics, to your own man, to your own girl. Like, I don't think that relationships for people that do last long in relationships, I don't think that it works unless you actually really know how to relate to yourself. I don't think it works until you realize, hey, I understand where some of the bullshit of how I treat people has come from the fact that, my family used to put their hands on me. So now I got a problem when my man and my girl want to touch me. I have a problem when I have a problem being intimate. I have a problem with committing, because commitment to me means imprisonment. And I don't want that from my life. Like all the triggers that happen, how you relate with people starts to happen when you start doing that work. You start to realize, like, I gotta admit that I'm a little bit of an asshole, and maybe this is why relationships don't work.
Right. When the shit gets tough, I know my tongue becomes a sword. I write for, I wrote for most of my life. I wrote bars, and not even just I rap like other. I hit people with punchlines. If you read my shit, I got punchline after punchline. So I'm always looking for the what's
always ready to drop a diss track.
Yeah.
Like, what up? Come
so
at your head.
Some of that aggression, like now, I just curse at the TV. I'm becoming the old man to curse at the TV. And I just tell my girl, just be quiet, man. That's how I get my aggression out. That's how I get my toxicity out. They don't know. They're not listening. I'm not leaving it in the comments.
Right.
I'm just saying, fuck this guy. I don't even care. I don't even hate him. I just fuck him right now. Go fuck this commercial. Just to get it off.
I want to hear it.
Just to get it off. To get it off. Just to get it off your chest. So what's read this question right here. What's the schedule and plan for future streams? UG?
Me? Oh damn.
You.
I do have a friend, actually. His name is Daniel Christensen. He's a great poet. And I really want to have him on, because I do want to have like more of these discussions about like what actually inspires art, what inspires him to write, as someone who writes as well. Like we know how like there's this time where it's like, I don't give a damn about nothing right now to really like, I'm not passionate enough about nothing right now to really write. And also like the flip side of that, because when you do write and you do make art that is emotion based, you have to kind of dance a really fine line of, I have to remain respectful to the public, but I also have to be vulnerable enough for people to understand that I am sincere about what I'm doing. And them tricky ass manipulators find a way to be like, oh, you write poetry about your emotion, you feel alone, boo. Let me talk to you. No, boundary.
Yeah, that's all. That's all. But
So I
what's up with the plan? What you trying to do? You putting them out? You don't got nothing on the just be honest with yourself. I ain't got nothing for y'all yet, but I might have something later.
and yeah, I will have I'm working on putting into effect, like maybe like putting a stream up every other Friday. So yeah,
Okay.
so it won't be this Friday, but then by next Friday, and once I get everything with him planned and others planned, and I want you on my channel again, fam. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Just as soon as you're ready, we gonna do this. I don't care. We ain't got much going on anyway in life too, so we go as many times as you need. We can do this shit.
Right. Continue to work this out.
Yeah. Well, how I see it too is also that we're practicing. Like
Yeah.
this, we're learning how to do this shit. The only way to practice this shit is to actually do it. So here we are. So my schedule, I already booked everything for this month. Thursday, that's gonna be Richard Grannon.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Then the next week is gonna be JJ Demon. I got JJ Demon, which I did music with, which I toured with. And honestly, he was the first person I ever saw even watching a podcast like in 2011. So
Right.
it'd be cool to talk to him. He's definitely good dude, has a lot of perspective, been through a lot of bullshit, so it's gonna be fun with that. And then the week after, I'm gonna do it with my brother.
Woo! Let's go!
So and he hit me up. What's up, yo? What's up? I saw that last podcast, man. Let me get in on that.
Okay.
Like, all right.
I like it. I like it. We doing family stuff because my sister actually is thinking about starting up a channel. So I'm like, okay, well, if she wanted, take it for a test run, then bring her on here. She already like super popping on Instagram because she is like, she is that chick. So
okay.
So you want somebody who will tell you about yourself? Yeah, my sister definitely will. But let me tell you something. You don't let nobody do this to you because these niggas out here being suckers, and you don't get played for no. You don't let these suckers play you for no sucker. You feel me? Yeah, my sister is like that.
No doubt. Jess says, "Will you both collaborate in a music project?" Oh, you planting seeds. I see you. I'm down. I'm down. We could do something. It don't matter. We can get.
You already see me posting like epilogues and shit on freaking my Instagram. So yeah, I'm always for it. What's up?
Right. Yeah, we'll work on something. We'll get there, Jess. Let's see if we got anything else. And then we could get out of here. Appreciate. Oh, that's about it. And that's it. We good. All right, UG. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you,
Thanks
fam.
for talking to my ass. I know I'm crazy. I apologize, but we gonna get through it.
We from the Bronx. We all crazy. You know that. That's why we leave.
Big facts. All right, UG. Take care. Everybody in the chat. Love y'all.
Love you.
Shamanic Poe out. Later.